Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be learning how to create database and a table in SQL. So let's get this started. So what is database? Database is a structured way of storing information. Database holds tables and each table stores the related information. Think of an Excel sheet with rows and columns. Each row is a record and each column is a field of the information. As shown in this table named students, we have different information like ID, name, subject, score of different students like Harry, Bob and Jack. So this is how we store data in table. Creating a database. In order to create a database in SQL, we can simply write create database and the name of the database. SQL queries are very simple. It's like simple English words that are very easy to understand. So here create database is a SQL command that tells database engine to make a new database, and students is the name of our database. We can choose any name avoiding spaces or any special characters. Now this command will make an empty container to store tables. Now if we want to use the database name students for different purpose like modifying data or creating table, we can simply write use and then the students. If we want to drop the database, we can write drop database and the name of the database. Now let's launch SQL workbench and practice these commands and see how it works. So this is our working environment of SQL workbench. Let's understand some of the important layout. This central editor window is for writing queries, and this left panel is for schemas, which are our database. This is database, and this bottom panel is to show the results and messages. So these are the buttons for to open the file from a folder and to save and to execute the selected portion of the script or everything, and this is to execute the statement under the keyboard cursor and so on. And we can change this layout by like this, and if we want to minimize this bottom layout we can do like this, and similarly this is the another right hand part. So let's start writing our first query in SQL. Let's create a database called student. So I'm going to write create database and I will give the name of the database, that is, let's say students here, and then this. So this is how we write SQL command to create database name students. Now let's run this. See, this code has been executed, but we have not seen students here. For that I have to refresh here. So yeah, we have created the database name students. And another thing is that we can also write in a small case later like create database, and then I will give another database name temp1, and then I will select only this because I don't want to create students again, that's why. And then let's run this. So yeah, this code has been executed and I have to refresh here, and temp1 has been created. Now if we want to delete the database, we can simply write drop database and then the name of database. I want to drop this temp1, and then I will execute this code, and we can see that temp1 database is not here. Now if we want to use the database like students in order to create tables or modify tables, we can simply write like use students. And then we can use this database in order to create tables or insert data into the tables and so on. Now let's see how to create table in SQL. Creating a table. Now let's see how to create a table in SQL command. Here we have our example. Now let's see how each line of the code operates. Create table students means we are making a table in a student's database, and inside this parenthesis we define columns. So here we can see int, varchar and decimal. So these are to define the data types. We will discuss this more in detail later on. For now, let's understand like ID is an integer that uniquely identifies its student, and we write primary key to ensure ID is a unique. Name is a string field with up to 100 characters. Here not null is mentioned, meaning it is required. And department is also another string field up to 50 characters, and score is a decimal number with 2 digits after the decimal. Now let's run this code in MySQL Workbench. Here we come to the same page. Here we have created a database named students, and now we want to create table in the students. So for that we have to use this use students command, and then we can write create and then table, and I will give the name of the table students, and I will start the bracket students, and then yes, and and then I will give ID, and it is integer type, and then I will assign this as a primary key. I have already explained in this earlier slide about this, and comma, and then name, and for name I will give varchar, and I will specify 100, and then I will give this value as not null, comma, and I will give department varchar, and then I will specify 50, let's say, and comma, I will give a score, and then decimal, and then I will give after 2, and then I will close the bracket. Sorry, I should not put here comma. Now let's run this code. See, we have created tables in students. Now if I want to view the data, I will just write like select, and then asterisk from, and then the name of the database colon. So I will run this. So this is our table, and this command, it returns all the rows and columns from the table. Okay, we have learned how to create a database and a table in SQL. We use create database SQL command to create a new database, and create table to define the structure of the data. Next, we will learn about how to insert data in a table in SQL. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and drop a comment if you found this helpful. See you next time. Thank you for watching.